York, go. Say go, New year, new team, it's the same dream. New Knicks City unis, boy, they stay clean. I just caught mine off of Fanatics in the garden with my hands in the air, we back at it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to SKF Weekly. You see it? Yeah, man. We here. We back again. Hope everybody's doing okay. Salute to everybody. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, man. It's another Monday night. We're here rocking and rolling. I'm your man, Ron. That's my brother. That's my brother Jose on the ones. Oh, no. I'm here holding it down, y'all. Obviously, Jose's still doing his thing, out on lead with the wing, you know what I mean? Anyway, wishing him the best. And actually, today is my brother John's son's birthday. So happy birthday, Jaden. Appreciate you, bro. Hope you're doing well and having a great day. I know you out celebrating today, so enjoy yourself. So John's out doing the family thing, man. Salute to him. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm hoping to get into a couple different scenarios that have been going around. That there's always going to be different things you hear about these New York Knicks because people love this time of the year. I think some people look forward to this time of year more than when the games are actually happening. Sometimes they're like, oh, they get to play GM and come up with different scenarios and different ways to change the team around. That's what we're dealing with right now. So that's what's going on. There's a lot of that happening. So we'll get into some of that. But before we do that, I want to shout out the chat. Appreciate you guys who have tuned in, who may be commenting. But I also want to get into something else a little different that you guys can look forward to coming down the pipe. There's going to be another show that's added to the Still Knick Fans mix. It's not going to happen, it's not a set show. It's not going to be every week. It's not going to be on a certain day. It's just basically going to be whenever I feel like it. You know what I mean? So, and that show is called One Man's Thoughts. All right. Nothing too crazy. Just some of my, the things I'd be thinking about. Sometimes when you have a channel called Still Knick Fans, it can limit you as to what you want to talk about. I mean, it's still going to be through Still Knick Fans. It's just my thoughts. It allows me to get into other things because there's a lot of other stuff that's going on in the world, and especially in the world of sports, that I like to comment on, that I watch, that I have an opinion about, and I think it's good dialogue, it's good content, and it's a good platform for us to get into other conversations that you guys may be thinking about, that I may be thinking about. So it's kind of just, another way of us being able to chop it up and talk about other things that aren't just Knick related, especially now when we're dealing in the off season, when there's no Knick basketball. It's a good time to be able to talk about some other things that may be happening. And that's why I said it's not going to be a set day, not going to be a set time. It'll just be when I feel like it. So, but I hope you guys, will be interested in that, and also will chime in because I'd love to hear your opinions about other things as well. I mean, we're Knick fans, but we're people. You know what I mean? We got opinions about other stuff too. And as long as we do what we do, keep it classy, respect each other, whether it be in the chat or in the panel, whatever it may be, that's good in my boat. I'm happy with that. So shout out to the chat. Shout out to Walter Blackman. Appreciate you. He says, how are you doing, Ron, in the panel? Always good, my brother. I hope you're doing well. Darren Hood is in the building. He said, hey, Ron, everybody in the panel. What's up, Darren? Walter said, I want to thank you for a great show on Saturday. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. It was a long show, man. I did a nice little 4-hour one. But yeah, I just wanted to be able to kind of get some draft stuff out there, but I also wanted to talk about Knicks stuff too, because there's so much stuff to talk about, and people have a lot of different opinions. And I hope everybody was okay with the show. I know sometimes it can get a little repetitive, but it's on purpose, because when you're doing a show, especially when you're doing a 4-hour show on a Saturday, when you know people got lives and doing different things, you find that throughout the course of the show, there's going to be different people popping in and popping out, or, you know, jumping in at the 2-hour mark and stuff that haven't heard any of the stuff we've already talked about. So sometimes you got to repeat what's going on, which also opens up even more opinions. So it is what it is, though. I had a good time. Excuse me. Shout out to JJ in the building. What up, JJ? Salute. What's good? Good to see you as always. He says, salute, Ron. What's good, brother? Andios NYK is in the building. My guy, Andios. What's good, my brother? Appreciate you as always. Kerry Cox is in the building. Salute. What's good, brother? Andios says, peace, love, blessing, Ron, and to the chat. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Official Payback is in the building. What's good? He said, Hart isn't leaving. Y'all got to go lug me in. Oh man, yeah. Listen, I don't think he's going anywhere either. So I'm with you. Andio said, hit that like, subscribe, and subscribe to the channel and enjoy the show. Facts. Yes, definitely hit that like button, y'all. Paris Douglas says, thank you for the generous $2 super chat. Appreciate you, my brother. Is this the Caitlyn Clark show? B-ball is B-ball. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. We gonna get into the Caitlyn Clark thing. Let's go. This is gonna be, like I said, that's why I hit you with the preview. This is gonna be a preview of one man's thoughts, because I do want to get into this WNBA thing. Because to me, this is a basketball thing. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff happening, and I would like to talk a little bit about it, because I don't like some of the narratives that are happening. I think people are lazy. I think they have their own agendas and initiatives that they want to press, and they use whatever they can to create some buzz for whatever their agenda is. And they're trying to take this WNBA situation and turn it into something it's not. In my opinion, I could be wrong. Maybe it's more than I thought. I think, to me, it just looks like basketball, and we're going to get into a little of that. Let me just shout out a couple more people, and we'll get right into it. Allah Wise is in the building. My guy, Allah Wise, what's good, my brother? He said Ron still Knicks fans on his Montel Williams. Facts. The official Payback says we need to get the Giants to do what the Knicks are doing. Yeah, I know, man. But I mean, listen, I'm more confident in what's going on this off season. I feel good. I think the Giants are going to be all right. And the quarterback issue is an issue, but it's there. But it's one more year of Daniel Jones. I don't care what unless Daniel Jones throws for 4,000 yards and like 30-something touchdowns and 10 interceptions, I don't think he's coming back. So we'll see what happens. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna save some of these because this is gonna be related to what we're talking about. I'll come back to this. Okay, let me hold on. Let me star that. Knicks ran out of steam. That's an interesting name. Now, who is this? Because this feels like this is somebody else who changed their name because this is the narrative he's going with. What's good? Luke Skywalker Visions is in the building. Salute. What's good, my brother? Hope you're doing all right. Long Island Sound 1 is in the building. Salute, brother. He said, let's go, Knicks. Georgie Ortiz is in the building. Yo, salute, my brother. Salute to you. My guy Dripmore is in the building. What up, Dripmore? Appreciate you. The preferred barber of still Knicks fans and the Knicks community is in the building. Let's go. Hey, that's what I'm talking about, Dripmore, man. Listen, you work hard, you play hard. Facts. And thanks for tuning in and listening, bro. Shout out to your father-in-law. Tell him I said, what's up? He's going to be like, who? Who's this, Ron? Shout out to Sherwin. Good night, all. He says, salute, Sherwin. Hope you're doing well. My guy Jay Boogie is in the building. Salute. What's good? Appreciate you. I am Jarrell is in the building. Salute. Appreciate you, my brother. Hope you're doing well. Always good to see you. And you guys know, since this is not our regularly scheduled programming, doing something a little different today. So I'm rocking solo, but also this ain't our regularly scheduled program that we use on Monday nights because Jose is away. So because of that, this is StreamYard, which means that I can put the link in the chat. So if you guys want to chop it up and come on, it's okay today, no problem. I don't have a phone line, so you can't call in. So this is what it is. But let's get into it, man, because bottom line is I do want to talk about some stuff. All right, so here we go. And this is kind of what you're going to see on One Man's Thoughts. This is kind of the type of stuff I'll be talking about. I might be talking about WNBA. I don't know. I might be talking about life. I don't know what I'll be talking about, but it could be anything. Shout out to my guy, Kareem Grant, in the building. Salute. Appreciate you, my brother. I hope you're doing well. Hope the family's doing well. All right. So here's the thing, guys. The Caitlyn Clark thing, to me, is being blown out of proportion, right? Do I think that the WNBA players are giving her a hard time? Yes, I do. Yeah, I definitely do. I definitely do think they're giving her a hard time. Do I think that she deserves it? No, it's not about whether she deserves it or not. This is just how stuff works sometimes when you come into a league and you're highly touted. And I'll get into that a little bit more in a minute. For example, like Angel Reese. Angel Reese is dealing with it as well. She's not dealing with it to the same level because Angel Reese just presents herself as a little tougher than Caitlyn Clark is. You know what I mean? But on the flip side, I want to say that let's not forget Caitlyn Clark was also known for taking some cheap shots when she was in college as well. She's no slouch to giving somebody the business. So the difference is Caitlyn Clark was one person maybe taking a cheap shot or being physical with one person on a team, right? But now that Caitlyn Clark is in the WNBA, everybody is targeting. I mean, not everybody, but she's getting it from a lot of different players on a lot of different teams. So it feels like she's being ganged up on because that's what's happening. But let me point to something that maybe these young whippersnappers forget. There's a lot of things that happen throughout the course of history when it comes to sports, but we're going to stay with basketball. Specifically, I'm going to give you two examples. One is a little bit more extreme than the other. Okay. There is a guy, a very talented basketball player who came into the league and he was all anybody could talk about. And he hadn't done a whole bunch of stuff in college. He showed some flashes, but still, he was getting a lot of hoopla, a lot of people talking about him. And then when he got into the NBA, his play and his actions made him look like he was the almighty, like the next coming of the Messiah, if you will. And his name is Michael Jeffrey Jordan. If you guys remember Michael Jeffrey Jordan, his rookie year, he came into a league that was filled with stars like Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, blah, 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 so on and so forth, right? But everybody wanted to talk about the next best thing. So if you guys remember, when Michael Jordan came into the league, guys around the league wanted to test him. Oh, you could fly through the air. You could do all types of different things, right? But this is the NBA. Let's see if you could do that here. And he was getting hard fouls. He was getting put on his butt, all this type of stuff. He was not being treated like he was in. He was actually being treated like he was an outsider. It was almost like what you get in a college, initiation. It was like he was being hazed, if you will. It wasn't like to a crazy level, but it was happening, and he knew it was happening, and he used that and it fueled him, and that's why he basically became who he is. That's why Jordan became the type of person that would play mind games with other players. That's why he became the type of person that would take you out to eat, take you out drinking, and the next day, have you not, thinking he's a great guy, and then he's going to bust your face when he gets on the court. He did types of things like that because he learned how the NBA worked. He learned that as much as you want to say, you know, we're all good people and we're good friends and all this stuff, it comes to the court. If you want to be a winner, once the ball goes up in the air, there's no friends, right? So my point that I'm trying to make here is this is nothing new, right? This is nothing new. What is I don't know what what I'm trying to figure out what Sherwin said here. Ron, did MJ in college? I sure did as a Georgetown fan. What do you MJ was not supposed to be the man. He was the third pick. Yeah, no, I agree. No, I agree. He wasn't supposed to be the man like that. That's why he was the third pick. But if you remember, MJ even said it himself. He got hazed by a lot of the star players in the league, the Magic Johnsons, to a certain extent. They became good friends later, but the Isaiah Thomases, the Larry Birds, they were all hazing him. They were all giving him a certain type of treatment. And like I said, this is not, and this is the reason why I'm bringing him up is because Michael Jordan is the star of all stars now. You know what I mean? He didn't start out that way as a rookie, but he definitely grew into that, right? But there was some talk about him. Now, someone who got talked about even more was LeBron James, but LeBron James didn't deal with that type of hazing. He wasn't treated that way. Also, LeBron James was 6'9", 250, 260 pounds, so nobody was messing with him. You try to hit LeBron James, it's going to hurt you more than it hurts him. So it's different, you know what I mean? But this is where I want to point to something that is exactly like Caitlyn Clark. And if you tell me otherwise, I'm not listening to you because I witnessed it. I've been here. I was outside, is what the kids say. I was outside for that. You guys remember a certain young player who could jump out the gym as well? Couldn't really shoot that much, but he was a beast in college, right? Came to the NBA. And all he did was dunk on your face. Dunk on your face. Lob City. You guys know where I'm going? That's right. Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin came into the league, and the league gave him the beats. Do you guys not remember? So you young whippersnappers ain't going to remember this. But the older heads like me, OGs, you want to call us, the unks of the world, whatever, Blake Griffin's rookie season, he was getting the business. They were putting Blake Griffin on his ass. Yeah, I can say that now because that's what it was. He was getting mauled. Y'all remember that? I know I'm not the only one. Blake Griffin was getting mauled. It was atrocious. Sometimes I was like, damn, yo, fight back. What are we doing? Blake Griffin was getting thrown around. Every time he would go up in the air, dudes was hitting him, man. They were killing Blake Griffin. See, and you think Caitlyn Clark is getting it bad. Blake Griffin was going up in the air and we was getting put down. Nobody, it didn't matter who it was. These guys, like somebody said, you know what, this year Blake Griffin's coming out. Oh, it's Blake Griffin? Okay. All right, guys. So it's Blake Griffin this year. That's how everybody was giving him the beats. Yeah, I hadn't seen that so blatant in such a long time. But guys who watched the game, y'all remember Blake Griffin was getting smacked around until he started to stand up for himself. And at first, it looked a little weird because, you know, he wasn't a tough guy. But as he got through the league and started to earn his stripes, the Blake Griffin elbows starting to come out. Now he's starting to fight back. And he got a little bigger in stature, just a little bit bigger. But he was starting to become more physical because he knew this was a physical league. You can't just be jumping around trying to dunk and embarrass people and think people are going to take it the way they take it. Like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Nice dunk, yo. So, yeah, he was getting the business. So that's what I equate to Caitlyn Clark. Yes, Caitlyn Clark is getting some physical play. It looks kind of wild because people haven't seen something like this, maybe with a female player in a while, especially the whole league looks like they're trying to be physical with her. But Blake Griffin was getting the same type of treatment, if not even worse, and dangerous because he was going up in the air and getting undercut and fouled all types of ways. So my point that I'm making is this is basketball, y'all. This ain't no race thing. It ain't a female thing. It ain't a male thing. This is basketball. This is what happens when you come into a league and you are what everybody is talking about. There's too many players that bust their hump in this league, the WNBA, to try to make a name for themselves, to support their families, to earn some money doing what they love, to hear one person come into the league and get all the spotlight. This has been passed down from generation to generation. Whenever there's a, whatever you want to call her, a generational talent, some people think she's one trick because she only shoots threes, but she does it phenomenally. I don't know. My point is, this has always happened, and it's probably always going to continue to happen. This is nothing new under the sun. Caitlyn is just getting the business because she is what everybody's talking about, and players feel a certain way. Not only do they feel a certain way to the fans that think the whole sport is made up of a bunch of different talented women, not just Caitlyn Clark. It's also to the point where they also know that Caitlyn Clark is one person and she's getting all the buzz, right? And lastly, Caitlyn Clark she's got a little machismo on her. You know what I mean? She's a little confident in herself. That you got to be confident like that to be the type of player she is. They also want to humble her a little bit. Come into the league. Look, you graduated from one level to the next level. Now you in the WNBA. It's real in here. Don't just come in here and think you're going to Steph Curry us to death and nothing's going to happen. That is what's happening. That's all it is. And all this other stuff is just being blown out of proportion. It's getting a little crazy. I think we just need to come back to reality, y'all. Let's come on back. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. This is regular stuff. Shout out to Deron Wayne in the building. Good evening, my brother. I hope you're doing okay. See what I'm saying? Like official payback said, I almost got us jumped for dunking on someone. So I'm saying people don't like it, right? People don't like it. So Blake Griffin, he was looked at a certain way because not for nothing, Blake Griffin was embarrassing people. So it's not like it's not like he wasn't doing his thing. Hey, he was embarrassing people. So they was like, nah, you ain't embarrassing us. Not only you not embarrassing us, I tell you, don't think it's sweet in here. So that's what happened. And so I think this is just a normal progression of basketball. And it's what happens. It's nothing different. It's nothing different. So Sherwin said, Ron, did you watch MJ in college? I sure did as a Georgetown fan. Yeah, I watched him. He didn't do nothing too crazy for me. He had some special moments. But that last season with the shot, that was special for him. But honestly, I didn't think he was the best player coming out of college that year anyway. But, it is what it is. What's up, Mets, Knicks fans? Let's go. What's going on, brother? He said, yo, salute, Ron. Appreciate you. I saw something. Who said it? Yeah, listen. I'm not going to take anything away from her talent. She is nice. I've seen her do some really special things, but like I said, people just need to calm down. I think, another reason why this is happening, guys, because people are tuned into the WNBA that weren't tuned in before. So when they see this type of action happening from women doing it to other women, they're like, what? Why are y'all, what is going on? Why are they being so physical? Well, why is it? Well, maybe, because you ain't watching the game. This is basketball. All of a sudden now you watching and then you're like, well, why is everybody targeting her? Because that's basketball. This is nothing new. And it's just getting blown out of proportion. Which also leads me into a different conversation, right? Which was the conversation that happened on BSPN earlier today with Stephen A. Smith, our favorite Monica McNutt, Shannon Sharp, and Molly Karam, right? I think it was very interesting. I think that I think both parties have a point, right? Stephen A had a specific point that he was trying to make. But Monica also had a really good point as well. So if you guys missed it, The bottom line was the conversation was had about the WNBA and the viewership and the eyes that the sport is getting nowadays because of someone like Caitlyn Clark, and the media attention that it's generating. And so Monica was basically saying, like, the WNBA has been here. It's been full of talented athletes, and it wasn't garnering the same type of media coverage and respect 3 years ago, right? Stephen A was defending his show, First Take, and saying that they have been covering the WNBA, and probably covering it more than other platforms. So he felt offended by, Monica's. I see you, Mets. He felt offended by Monica's take because he felt like he was one of those people that has been championing the sport and has been talking about the WNBA. But Monica called it like she called it. She said, "This is what I see." I mean, so it got a little testy on set. It was a very interesting conversation. Yeah, but the bottom line to me is Monica's right. And Stephen A may be right to a certain extent. I don't like Stephen Hader Smith. You guys know how I feel about him. But maybe he was talking about the WNBA to a certain extent more than what other people were talking about. I'm not saying that was the problem is, and I think this is where things get missed, is like Monica's never said that you wasn't necessarily talking about the WNBA, but you're just not talking about it the same way you're talking about it now. Like, just the level of conversation just wasn't there. And that is the bottom line. And, I saw a lot of people in the comments saying part of that is just because the WNBA just wasn't doing anything to make it seem sexy so that people were interested in it. I don't know whether maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I'm honestly going to tell you that I haven't been following the WNBA. I know that Caitlyn Clark is here now, and I'm still not necessarily following the WNBA. It's all about what I have my own time for, with my own family, with my own work schedule, with my own podcast stuff, whatever I'm doing, and whatever other things I need for my own sanity. So it's not necessarily about who they got. They could have the female Michael Jordan, and I still may not be watching. There's a bunch of talented people in college basketball. I still haven't. I didn't watch not one piece of March Madness. It's just all about my own personal time and what I have time for. So all I'm saying is it may not necessarily be about the product itself, but also about people and what they're able to do and what time they have for themselves. So let me bring a couple guys up in here so we can talk a little bit more. Shout out to Space Ghost in the building. Salute, Space Ghost. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you. King Ribby in the building. Salute. What's good? Appreciate you. Jeremy Nussbaum is in the building. Salute. What's good? Appreciate you. All right, let me bring Mets in here. Mets, hold on. Let me get this right. Boom. Let me get my guy Payback in here. Payback.
Salute, guys.
What's going on, kid? Oh, maybe he's in the car. So let me drop him down. He'll come back up once he's good. Maybe he's good now. Once you're ready, give me the thumbs up. I know I'll bring you back up. Oh, I think he's good. Hey, all right. So the only thing is I can't hear you on mute.
You're on mute, Payback.
Yeah, I can't hear you. If anything, the link is in the chat. Go out and come back in. Yeah, just go out and come back in, Payback. All right. So, Mets, what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I'm doing fine. I mean, looking at these trade rumors, the only one.
Whoa! Hold on. Before we get into the trade rumors, right now I was talking about the WNBA and this situation with the Caitlyn Clark being, treated a certain way on the court. You have any thoughts on that?
I'm gonna be blunt. I haven't.
Hold on. Before you're blunt, keep in mind this is a sensitive subject, so make sure you don't say nothing to piss too many people off. Just saying. Just think about it.
I've been apathetic to the WNBA for at least 2 decades. With how many teams go in and out of this organization, I don't even know how they're even able to stay afloat. The only OGs that are left are the Mercury, the Mystic, the Liberty, the Sparks. Every one of the other OGs from when the organization started in 1997, the Sting, the Miracle, the Rockers. I don't remember if there was one other. They're all gone, and they've been bouncing around from other places. I mean, there was also the Shock that are gone. To me, there's really no reason to even bother to look at the WNBA.
I hear you. Okay. I mean, listen, that's your feeling. That's your take. You're entitled to your opinion. But let me ask you this. In reference to how an athlete is being treated coming into the league, getting the physical play by a lot of other players on different teams. Have you witnessed that before? Have you seen that before?
In both? Yes. But again, I don't follow the WNBA anymore.
No, but even in basketball itself, in the NBA, have you seen it before? Do you think it's right?
Yes. It's basically the trial by fire. Either you pass through the flames unscathed or you get burnt. And however Caitlyn Clark is treated, it sounds like she's probably whining that she's getting burnt. I don't know.
Well, I think it's not necessarily. I think she's complaining as much as anybody else who is dealing with it would complain. But I think that the issue is there's more outside people that are complaining on her behalf that maybe are just not used to the fact that she is such a big name. And when you're a big name coming into any league, people are going to test you and they're going to want to see if you can stand up to that name that you have. Are you that type of player? Can you take the heat when you're in the kitchen? Because everybody thinks you're the flamethrower, but can you take the heat? So that's what's going on.
I see. And and I can agree with what Bo Ismail is saying. It's just that when you think basketball, the stereotype is it's usually a black player who's overly talented. No offense to you, Ron.
Oh, well, thanks. Well, because I'm I'm none taken.
But to see a white person come in, especially a non-European white, do it with this good, you know that most of the wokies are coming out like rats out of the woodwork.
I hear you. All right. Well, I mean, listen, but that's the thing that I want to get across. That I
What happened?
That. You know, have stuff that's in your. This has nothing to do with nothing. But you got stuff that's in your queue that you don't want anymore, and now all of a sudden you see it's being delivered. I'm like, what? I don't want this. I gotta. Anyway, so I gotta cancel that. But yeah. Let me see. I think Payback's good to go now. What's up, boss?
Hey, what's up, man? What's good?
Hey, there he is.
What's up, Knicks Nation?
Hey, what's up?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Pardon the sound. Sometimes my car just tries to force connect with it, whatever I'm like.
I got you. Yeah. I got you. No doubt. What's your thoughts on what's going on, brother, man? Listen, I just want to get your quick take on it, and then we'll get into some Knicks stuff. But I just wanted this is just a preview of the type of stuff I'll be talking about in the future. What do you think about this whole thing?
I see sometimes. I think with the WNBA, right? They're like trying to make efforts to make the game more popular, and I think that they're doing it in a wrong way. I think they thought that some way this was going to draw attention. I feel like this might have been like a plight to try to get attention for the media to just reach after something and say, hey, look, she's getting a hard time. Of course, she's going to get a hard time. I think almost anybody coming in as a rookie into this sport, in any sport, you're coming in competitive and your option is you're trying to win and get a bigger spot. Everybody else is trying to do the same thing. So nobody's really going to just let you like come in and drop 30 or 40. You understand? So I expect them to give her a hard time, push her around a little bit. But I tend to feel like maybe because she's really pretty, she's a girly girl, and some people might feel like she's getting pretty privileged. There's a little bit of jealousy there, and let's just keep it real. She's basically what the WNBA needs. The WNBA needs her, the Angel Reeses. There's been players there before, but they've been in spurts. There never been a large group of them enough that people would just turn into automatic fans to say, hey, I want to watch this. Because I love women's basketball. I honestly think that they have great IQ. I just think that I would like to see the girls kind of be girls. Like when you see women's volleyball, you see women's volleyball is just as competitive as the men's volleyball, but they're girly girls and they're athletic. You can see they're athletic, but at the same time, they could be down to earth with you at the end of the game, and they could reason with you the same way a man would reason with a woman.
Excuse me for a minute, Ron.
Oh, Mets is dealing with something. Okay, Mets. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that's the case. Is it's just one of those things where, you know, people are talking about it because it's the newest. It's not the newest thing, but it's like the hottest thing going right now. You got some players. You got some players. Yeah, she can do some stuff that we haven't seen at this level from a female athlete, and just drawing a lot of attention. And because of that, people start to say, they start to say stuff because they're actually looking at the game for once, and they haven't paid attention to it before. But like I said, it's just one of them things that this is just basketball to me. It's not race, it's not gender, it's just basketball, and basketball stuff is happening. That's all it is.
Yes, there's something about that girl too. I won't lie. She has the eye of the tiger. She has the fire in her eye. And anybody that's a dog in their sport, anybody that's just a dog in anything they do can see that when you look at this girl and just tell she's different. She's definitely different.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Well, so I just want to talk about a little something different just to get it cracking. So you guys have an understanding of the type of stuff that I will be covering when I do get into my one-man thoughts show, whenever I decide to do that again. But to get to this Knicks stuff. So, there's a lot of rumors out there that we're going to be, overloaded with rumors.
Yes.
Hold on one second. Let me just read this super chat from my guy, Parrish Duggar, real quick before we move on. Thank you for the generous super chat, Parrish. Appreciate it. He says, Caitlyn thing is a big deal. It's not her competition's fault. The league wanted this. See harsh schedule. The refs caused firestorm by not calling flagrant in real time. Angel Reese's slam down was flagrant too. 3 gutless teammates. Yeah, I mean, listen, this, like I said, it's just basketball. The refs didn't do much about it. And what has come up, what it has called into question is the teammates, whether it be Caitlin Clark's teammates or Angel Reese's teammates. How do they come to the defense of their colleague that might be getting treated a certain way? It doesn't matter whether it's normal hazing or stuff that they have to go through. All right, once it happens, you know what I mean? It's all cute until somebody gets hurt. So if like somebody hits one of them the wrong way and they actually hurt something, then they're out. Then it's like, oh, now it's a big deal. The bottom line is it's basketball. It's regular. You're going to see it, but the teammates do need to stick up for their teammate so that it doesn't get out of hand.
They do. I think that game, I think they kind of got caught by surprise. I don't think they expected the calls to go like that at that point. I feel like because it's funny. I've been in games before. And it's like, I know sometimes people think that when you see your teammate fall on the floor, you're like, oh my God, is he okay? And yeah, a lot of the times, sometimes we think like that, but most of the time we're on the bench and we're like, oh, dude just bust his A. You know what I mean? He just like, we're laughing, you know what I mean? And because we're glad that you're getting up and you're okay. If you were like hard to get up or something like that, it's different. But my thing is, I feel like they probably just didn't expect the level of those fouls to be the way they were. And they were like, oh, my God, like they really let that get away with that? Because I heard them make a comment about Angel Reese laughing at one of those fouls. I don't think she was laughing. I think she was probably laughing on the fact that they really didn't call a foul and the way everything played out.
Yeah. I think that's probably true, too. I can agree with that. I respect that. But thank you once again, Parrish. I appreciate it. So let's see. What's the oh man.
Oh, I got something juicy for you. First, Ron, pause.
Oh, what you got? What you got? What's going on?
No, last night, I'm a late night. I'm at work right now. I work graveyard shift. So I'm at work and, I follow only Knicks Twitter, right? So
Mm-hmm.
out of nowhere, I get out of work and exactly 12:30, I see Isaiah Hartenstein made a post that was taken down almost a minute later saying that he's glad to re-sign with New York. And it actually showed something about something around 5 years, 100 mil. I'm not going to lie. And he said he's back to work, FOE, family over everything. In less than a minute, it was deleted. Look, I just want to say, this is a hypothetical what if. What if these guys know what the situation is, but in order to drag out this drama of the NBA, they just kind of let it play out for a little bit, just to let, the media and everybody makes money when they talk about all these things. So what if they just dragged it out a couple of days, let the fans salivate at all these ideas, knowing that they already knew what they were going to do a long time ago. It's been in the play. And I feel like that's exactly what's going on with iHeart. I think he's going to remain a Knick. I think OG is going to remain a Knick. I don't think we have to worry about that. I just think that we really need to think of how we could actually consolidate the pieces that we're going to get in the future. I mean, we have 12 or 15 million for the mid-level exception, but we also have 3 picks in which I believe that we could really utilize 2 of those picks and probably send 1, if maybe even 2 somewhere, and maybe a future pick to get a possible piece. And that's what I thought would have been the most realistic, because I feel like if we go out there and try to get somebody that's going to change the dynamic, it's going to completely change the culture. You have to get one piece that's really fit in, somebody that's either wanting more minutes or somebody that feels underappreciated.
I can see your point. As for where I stand and what we do, of any of the trade rumors I've been hearing, whether it's Randle, Hartenstein, or what have you, the only one that would have any legitimacy of doing, I could see the Knicks doing legitimately, getting rid of Mitch. At this point, the glass can status he has made him an unbearable reliability, whether you start him or have him come off the bench. At that point, you need to get a mid-level center who can back up Hartenstein and be healthy on a consistent basis. Whether you get that from the draft or from a trade, possibly even both, that's up to the front office.
You just answered your question inside of your question, right? Check this out. What if we keep Mitch? Because think about this. Mitch is 26 right now. I've seen players like Grant Hill spent most of their early career injured and turn around to have a solid career after that. I think at 26, he could still possibly give you at least a couple of solid years, maybe off of the bench. But my thing is, what if we give Hartenstein the bag, make him start, reverse roles to have Mitch coming off of the bench, and then possibly getting a Hillel Ware in the draft? I think he'd be a nice stretch big, somebody to come in as a third, a third big that could be out there. There would be a lot of pressure.
Of course, we have to get rid of Sims as part of a small cap dump.
Yeah, first. Sims needs to go. Sims hasn't been developing. I love Sims. I thought he was going to be a really good product, but he's not finding his role. The way he played in the first season, there's no way you can digress from that. He showed like glimmers of catching lobs, blocking shots, being a high threat, just as high of a threat as Mitchell Robinson was. And he just completely disappeared. There's no way a center doesn't disappear like that. It's only 1 or 2 things, unless you feel like you want a bigger role, which if he wants a bigger role, then use him for a trade piece and send him somewhere and, make him happy. Which is why a lot of people aren't going to like what I have to say. But I would say if you really want a chance of getting 2 very solid pieces on the team this year, realistically, without using the mid-level exception, that's going to stay there. That's going to be another solid piece. We send Miles McBride and Bojan Bogdanovic over to Brooklyn, and we get Mikal Bridges. The only reason why I say this, I don't want to get rid of Miles McBride, but he's the only promising piece that another team would look at that they would say they would be willing to trade with somebody that they don't really want to trade with. And then you attach that with a couple of draft picks, which they have no picks, so they'll be dying for any kind of picks. I feel like if we could give them 4 first rounders or 3 first rounders, if we could give them 4 first rounders and maybe a second, I'm sure that and those two players would be enough to get the job done. If they go to Houston right now, you away from one or two guys, Sagoon and this other guy, Dylan Brooks on the team, and Fred VanVleet, you can't even name anybody that's really worth naming. I mean, you can name somebody, sure, but are they worth naming?
Right.
You know, it's like,
well,
so what are they going to trade to Brooklyn for exactly?
Well, the thing is, so here's the biggest problem that the Knicks have. The Knicks are, they do have a lot of assets, but it all comes down to the value of the assets, right? And so, unfortunately, the only thing when it comes to Mikal Bridges, for example, is that if Houston does decide that they want Mikal Bridges from the Nets, and they tell the Nets, which is what's been rumored, that we'll give you back your draft picks, those net draft picks are way more lucrative than the Knicks draft picks, because the Knicks are a good team, and we're always going to be fit. Yeah, right. And the Nets suck, so their picks will be great. They can actually build with their picks, so that's why, I think Houston has the edge there. I don't know if there's anything we could do to really twist.
But what is that? 2 first-rounders though? That's 2 first-rounders, right?
Well, I think they wanted at least 2 first-rounders, but remember, the ball's in their court, so we don't know how desperate Houston is to get Mikal, and what the Nets are going to be telling Houston about it. They may want 3 first-round picks. Who knows?
I would throw Jericho Sims in that deal too, as well, and give them room to rebuild for a new future. I mean, I think Sims on a new team could flourish.
Well, I think that's the best course of action for the Knicks, because I'm telling you guys, I don't think Precious Achiuwa is coming back to this team. I don't think Jericho Sims is coming back to this team, because he's on a team option, and I just don't see the Knicks picking up his option. It's only $2 million or $3 million, whatever it is, but he just doesn't fit what Tom Thibodeau likes to do. And so if there's ever a time to cut bait, now's the time. So it's better to trade him for something if you can move him, but I just don't see him coming back to the Knicks.
Precious raised his value for sure, but the only thing I know with Precious is when you're a Bronx product, such as myself, it's really hard to not root for the hometown team. So I think deep down inside, if the Knicks was to give him a deal kind of team friendly like what Miles McBride had, I think he would take it over getting the bigger bag. I mean, let's be real here. These guys all got millions of dollars. What's an extra $1 or $2? I mean, it's an extra $1 or $2, but it's really nothing.
Right. And even the thing with Precious, another thing with Precious too, is another reason why I don't see him coming back, is that even though he raised his value, he is not necessarily a difference maker. You know what I mean? You can get another Precious Achiuwa. You can get another Precious Achiuwa. But what's really valuable is the fact that you have a team option to take his that money and put it back into the pot, because he's making $12.5 million. That's a good amount of money. So I can't see the Knicks bringing him back either. That's why I'm saying, those 2 guys in particular, Precious and Jericho, we're talking about $15 million the Knicks will have to play with right there to help sign their own guys.
We would have to fail in free agency for them to go back to Precious. I don't think that it's that. I don't think that it's we don't want to get Precious. I think that right now, between Dolan, between Worldwide West, and these guys, they're under the gun to pull the trigger, but they have to pull the trigger in a way that they don't destroy the culture of the team. Right. So we could forget the Kevin Durant trade. I mean, no, I'm not going to say forget the Kevin Durant trade. I mean, I don't like it at all. I feel like Julius Randle is a better player for the Knicks. I think that the same way Julius Randle, people get mad at the thumbs down. Hey, KD talking about the Knicks ain't cool, and just him not showing up when he feels like giving up on a team is way worse than Julius Randle thumbs down to me. I mean, Julius been proven already in this city, and let's be real, I don't care. A lot of people feel like we exaggerate this situation, but it takes a different animal to play in New York. You can't be a puppy. You can't be a kitten. You can't be a house monkey saying that you're a silverback. You got to really be that. You got to live that life. And
so here's the thing. You can't be a kitten, but can you be a cat?
No.
Can't be a pony, but can you be a damn stallion?
If you're a cat, you better be a tiger.
I mean, like I said,
be Tony the Tiger too.
Can't be a damn pony, but can you be a freaking stallion?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Well,
listen,
we had
you
a
know,
unicorn. You see how that worked out.
yeah, it was nice for the early years. It was
Hey,
nice.
But then
and I
again,
want to say
Chris
something too. I
Stapps-
hear people talking about something, and I want to say the history books are a lie. When people say that we haven't traded with Brooklyn since God knows when, Andre Bargnani came here from Toronto Raptors, right? When we got rid of Andre Bargnani on his canceling contract with 1 year left, we sent him to Brooklyn.
who did we get out of it?
We sent him to Brooklyn. I know that for a fact.
Who did we get out of it? Quincy Acey?
No, we got like picks. We were dying to get rid of him. I think it was like a second rounder or something. Yeah, we were dying to get rid of him.
Chandler move. That also sent.
So
wasn't that also the
so
Chandler move that sent him to Dallas?
No,
I can't remember.
Chandler was here before. Chandler was here 2010.
Well, so I here's the thing. I see what you're talking about. I saw that, but I don't know if he said everything that you mentioned, Payback. He didn't get too specific in saying amounts, unless I missed it.
But he did say he'll be back. Friendo, FOE, friend of everything. There was another post. I think he reposted that. He reposted that.
Okay. Okay, so because I didn't, all right, okay, I got you. Because
remember, I told you I seen it when it came up as an alert, but then when I went back to look at it, it was already gone. So he must have reposted it, reworded it, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, because the one that that is it still lives out there is year 6. Thank you, New York, for making it so special. Yeah. Time to get back to work. He put the lock and hashtag FOE. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's what's out there now, which leads me to believe that he's re-signing with the Knicks. I don't know I mean, maybe the money that you're saying is true. I personally, I kind of hope it's not, because that's a lot of money to give to Hartenstein. But unless the Knicks feel like they're getting a lot more with the new TV deals and all that stuff, I don't know what's happening. I do know. I also saw Jalen Brunson saying to Hartenstein, get that money. So Jalen Brunson obviously knows what's happening. So I don't know. We gotta see. We're gonna find out sooner than later.
Jalen is a genius, and I think that everybody is underrating his skills. He's not only playing the sport for us, but he's also calculating everything right now, because with the TV deals and things into place, when we're reasserting our players, they're giving us their all, and they're coming in on these new contracts that, even though we see them as kind of high right now, when the TV deal comes in, they're actually going to be steal deals. Very tradable deal. Very tradable.
And I just want to say that I know that's a lot of money for Hartenstein. If it's 18 million, I could deal with that. I'll be honest. I know that's a lot of money too, but we're paying Josh Hart 18 million. We're paying Mitchell Robinson 15 million or 16, whatever it is. 15. It's either 15 or 16. If
Hartenstein deserves 20.
Yeah, well, you know, that's how it is in hindsight. When he first got the deal, everybody was screaming. Everybody was screaming, what are you doing? But now they look at everything he does and like, okay, he works hard for that money. Facts.
Yeah,
with Hartenstein, I want to say the same thing. I know that it looked a certain way in the playoffs. He struggled a little bit, especially against Embiid. But let's not forget, as I said on Saturday, Hartenstein's been playing hurt all year. And you know that those injuries and stuff takes its toll the longer the year goes on. So when Mitchell Robinson went down, shout out to Freezy for pointing this out as well. When Mitchell Robinson went down, iHeart was balling, guys. We were like, yo, iHeart looks good. I was even doing comparison shows at that time, comparing Mitch to iHeart, and like, yo, iHeart does at that time, 100%. He was doing everything Mitch was doing and more. He
got that little floater too. I love.
Yeah, he was giving you the passing. He had the scoring with the little floater. He was better free throw shooter. And at that time during the season, this is around January.
He would
February,
take a 3 every now and then at some point too.
He was also getting blocks, and he was rebounding like Mitch was during. So he was doing a lot. All I'm saying is, as time goes by, you know, the wear and tear. You know, he's dealing with an Achilles thing. You know, sometimes you just can't, you know, it's not like you don't want to show up, but sometimes it's harder for him to show up. So
I would like to see Hart shoot.
I think you got frozen. Coach Sire says iHeart can't defend one-on-one in the post. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, Coach. I mean, it may have looked a certain way when we got to the playoffs when he had to deal with somebody like Embiid, and then when he was facing the quick-moving offense of the Indiana Pacers. But I mean, remember, I mean, those are only two teams. I'm not saying like, you need him to step up. I'm just saying like this is the end of the season. It's been a long season. He's been dealing with a lot. And so it might have been kind of tough for him to give us his best during that time. But remember, you guys remember when he was playing earlier in the season when Mitch went down, how he was blocking people's shots, big men trying to dunk. I think when we played Minnesota, I think he blocked Cat 2 or 3 times when Cat tried to dunk on him. Like he was playing defense. It's just all about, we needed it in the playoffs and we didn't get it the way we needed it. But I don't want it to be the narrative like he didn't show up in the playoffs. I don't agree with that. I believe he just wasn't consistent, but he played. He had some good games. He had some not so good games. Let's not forget the 16 rebound game or 17 rebound game where he had 12 offensive rebounds. Let's not forget that.
And then he had those last 2 games, which were crap, where he basically played like a coward.
Everybody struggled. Jalen Brunson struggled the last 3 games of the series.
More like 4 of the last 5 he struggled.
Do we want to not give Jalen Brunson an extension?
Yes, we
do. Okay. Yeah, but I hear you, best of the worst, but I wouldn't look at that. That you can't quantify Hartenstein's ability because he's not an offensive threat. Neither is Mitchell Robinson, which goes to my point that maybe it's time for the Knicks to say, we can't have 2 of these guys on the team anymore. We need one is okay. We can't have 2 of them. We need to get ourselves a different type of big man so we can have some balance. In my opinion, I think the Knicks are looking at that from that standpoint. Like, if Hartenstein is somebody that we can afford to bring back, we need to bring him back, and we might need to trade Mitch so we can get a different type of option that gives us more flexibility. Because having these same type of guys who don't have offensive talent is just not good enough. It doesn't. I mean, we need more. So we need more. We got to be we can't be one-dimensional and can't be predictable. We need a little bit more. JJ says upgrade the center spot. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's the case.
I mean, we know we need an upgrade the center spot, but again, this means we need to get rid of at least 2 of them. One, get rid of in a trade, whether it be for some small-time draft picks or a supplementary third-string center, or get rid of 1 through set, and then get a substitute in the draft. But the question is, out of this draft class, which isn't all that great from what I'm being told, what do you get for the center position? Because none of these guys, from what I've seen on paper, don't look all that great. They're competent, but not great.
Mm-hmm. So, Georgie Ortiz says the only way I would trade Mitch is if we pick up Zach Edey. I mean,
I'm not sure if he's going to fall that far down in the draft order.
Don't get me wrong. I agree with you. If I knew the Knicks were getting Zach Edey, I would also be comfortable trading Mitch. I don't know if he's going to be there as to what Mets is saying. I don't know if he's going to be there because he is a skilled big man. And I don't care how much they try to push him down. Like, oh, yeah, he'll definitely be there. I don't know that. Anybody could say, you know what? He's a talent. We got to get him. We'll put him on the bench. We'll figure out a way to use him. So you can't say that. We've seen that happen many times. But what I want to say is, remember, guys, there's a bunch of other centers in the league. There's a bunch of guys that play backup roles that are talented, that are just being used. Phoenix has 2 of them. Yeah. Phoenix got 2 of them. There's other guys out there. Now, there's some guys that may be hard to get, but there's options.
Phoenix has Jurkic, and who's the other one?
Zach. What's it? I forgot his name. He was from Portland, I believe. I
Yeah,
can't remember his name.
They got in the Ayton trade.
I think so. Yes. That's correct. I can't remember his name though.
Let
And
me
he's
check-
also
Let me check the Suns roster.
pretty good. Coach Sire says trade iHeart to OKC with picks for the 12th. Yeah.
Young.
I just don't know, man. I don't know.
It's not Aduka Azubike, right?
No, it's not him.
Let's check this. Let me check this thing.
And oh, there it is. It's Zach Collins.
Oh, Collins. Okay.
Yeah, Zach Collins is who I'm thinking of. Shout out to none other. Appreciate you, my brother.
But didn't they ship him out too?
They might have shipped him out too. Maybe he's not there. But I'm thinking of him as who I was thinking of. But he's another example of that's a guy you could bring in and would be a solid backup on this team. And he's got the ability to knock down some shots, and he's got some good free throw shooting. He's active. Best of the worst. Appreciate you, by the way. He said Ware and Edie will not be there at 24. DeRon Holmes is a good option. Tim protected that cap
he's in
space
San
the floor
Antonio
and play.
now.
I got you. Rim protector that can space the floor and play power forward and center. Yeah, DeRon Holmes.
He's in San Antonio now.
Okay, that's where he's at. San Antonio. All right. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you. Animal X, that's another guy. I mean, defensively, he's not much, but I like him, but you got to be able to give me two. You know, it's just how, like, if we get rid of Mitch, it's almost like if we get rid of Mitch, we need two because most likely we're not bringing back Jericho. So if you could bring in Kelly Olynyk, Hartenstein and Olynyk, I like that. But I also need another center who's big and can, bang in the paint and get some rebounds. So you still need somebody else that you can get off the free agency that doesn't make a lot of money. Maybe somebody at the veterans minimum. I don't know who's out there. I haven't looked as far as centers, but that's what I would need to do. But Kelly Olynyk definitely stretches the floor for the Knicks. I mean, they'll be dynamic with him out there. You having Hartenstein and him? Mm-hmm.
But Olynyk's a rather small guy, right? Like 6'10" or so?
I think he is maybe 6'10", but
I don't know about that one.
Let's see. He is. Oh, hold on. What's his height? There it is. He's 6'11".
Close enough. But I mean, that's the same height Mitch is, and look what's happened to him. Glass cannon. I mean, sure,
but
Olynyk's
Kelly
not on that same level. But I'm just saying.
Let me see here. What we got here?
James Wiseman.
Kelly Olynyk. He shot 82% from the free throw line, and he shot 84. So the thing is, Kelly Olynyk got traded, right? So he started with Utah this season, and then he wound up with Toronto. With Utah, he shot 84% from the free throw line, and he shot 56% from the field and 42% from three. And that was in 50 games, right? He played 28 games with Toronto. He shot 82% from the free throw line. He shot 54% from the field, and he shot 33% from three. He couldn't really find his three-point shot there, but it's okay because he's a career 36%, almost 37% shooter from three. And the bottom line is 50, 28. He played 78 games this year. And he played 70. He played 78 games last year, and 68 games the year before that.
But then again, when you consider that he's back where he started, the NBA East Conference, because if I remember correctly, he started in Boston, right?
Mm-hmm. I think that's right.
We don't trade with rivals mindset does come into play. I mean, even if you exclude the RJ quickly trade to get Achua, OG, and Flynn, the latter most of which we shipped out to Detroit, which I wish we didn't do.
Best of the Worst says, I'm telling you, give Tibbs a training camp with James Wiseman. He's the center whisperer. I do believe he is the big man whisperer. And John also thinks that Tibbs could turn James Wiseman into something. So you're not the only person to say that. John says that to me too. Wiseman was with Detroit.
Why didn't we get him in that trade that Chip Fournier and Grimes out?
I don't know what happened there. I don't know. Well, because they wanted Bogdanovich and Burks was someone we thought fit our system.
Well, I'm just saying that if given the chance to do that over, I would have shipped out Grimes, Sims, and Fournier for Wiseman, Bojan, and Burks.
I wouldn't have been mad at that either. I would have done that too, but I guess that's not the scenario that popped up, especially because the Knicks knew that Mitchell Robinson was coming back. So they're thinking, oh, we're going to have Mitchell Robinson, we're going to have Ihart, and then you got Jared. I don't know. I guess they didn't prioritize that. So
I'm just saying, you need better foresight. And again, my whole argument against calling Tibbs a center whisperer is his nasty habit of when he does turn the coal into diamond, he tends to grind that diamond into dust.
Damn it, man. Let's see. Do I have something here that tells me? Let me see. So, one of those wild scenarios that came up was how you guys feel about that. I know how I feel about it. I'm gonna see how you guys feel about it. There is a trade scenario that you've kind of knew was coming, but it's out there now. Trading Julius Randle,
which I don't want to do.
Let's see what's all into this. What's in here? Okay, so it's Julius. Okay, so it's Julius Randle and Bojan Bogdanovich, along with some draft capital
for
Karl Anthony Towns.
No. I mean, on the one hand, this would be a somewhat reunion with Tibbs, but we all know he and Towns parted on bad terms when Tibbs got fired from Minnesota. Not doing it. If we would have gotten the cat, we would have gotten the top pick in the 2015 draft and used it on him. Instead, turning him into a center, this is a case where the big man whisperer argument falls apart. And instead of breeding and grooming the cat to be a top cat, Tibbs would end up skinning the cat. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Best of the Worst says, why would we give up draft capital? Julius is the better player.
Case and point.
Well, I mean, Karl Anthony Towns is a special shooter who can rebound. So I think they're a little closer than people think. I agree. I think I would rather have Julius than Cat, my opinion. So I hear you. I'm just saying
bad blood between the cat and the Tin Man.
But apparently they don't have bad blood. Apparently they shook hands. They laughed last time the Knicks played Minnesota. They chuckled a little bit. They hugged. Apparently they don't have bad blood. And they asked him about his relationship with Tibbs. He says him and Tibbs are cool. I will say this. If Cat came here, could Tibbs make him better, bring out the best in him? I think he could. But is that what I want? No. Because I think there's Karl Anthony Towns. He's a sheep in wolf's clothing. I don't know about him. I don't trust him.
Sheep's clothing?
Yeah, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Yeah, I said it backwards. My fault. That's what I meant. I don't trust him. I don't think he doesn't strike me as that next level type of guy. I think he kind of folds under pressure. I think it was very telling when
in the conference final.
Yeah, no, in general, I don't know. I think it's very telling when the young pup on the team with special talent, Anthony Edwards, tells you, yeah, if this guy can stay out there on the court, we can beat anybody.
But then again, I think the biggest scapegoat in that West Final for Minnesota wasn't either of those two. It was Gobert. I mean, defensive player of the year, my ass, with the way he played against the Mavericks.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is also not the best idea to put a center on someone who is nimble and crafty like Luka Doncic. I don't know where they thought that was a good idea.
Irving, who is very cagey. Sure, he's not a spring chicken anymore, but still, he can get around. But again, starting Thursday, the finals are going to boil down to backcourt versatility. And to me, Boston's got that in spades.
So here's the question. I like it. I like these conversations, Coach. Coach says, wait, Cat folds, but Randle doesn't. Well, let's think about what we've seen from Randle, right? There's only been 2 opportunities for Randle to show what he can do in the playoffs. All right. The first time around, the Knicks were a defensive team with not a lot of offensive firepower and weapons. The whole offense went through Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. And when Atlanta tripled and double teamed the Knicks, Julius was stuck. He didn't know how to handle it, and he couldn't pass it to anybody because there was nobody else that stepped up because we didn't have anybody. We were a defensive team. So am I looking at Randle and blaming him for that? No, I'm blaming the Knicks for the poor roster construction. That was their fault.
When Mitch and Noel went down, we had to rely when Mitch, Noel went down and Payton got benched, and we relied on old guard like Gibson and Rose respectively. They ended up getting overtaxed.
Right. So you look at that, right? And then you say to yourself, well, okay, that was then, what about last year? Well, let's not forget.
Randle was going with an injury.
He came in with an ankle injury, and he didn't play a good amount of those games early because obviously he was still healing. And so when he really actually had a time to contribute against Miami, what happened in game 1? No, game 2, I think he re-aggravated the same ankle injury. Now, he still played, but I mean, what do you expect to get out of him? Mind you, he had 3 good games against Miami. If you look at the numbers, those games were good. One of those games was really good, but he had 3 good games against Miami. They weren't typical Randle games like you could say he took over, but how do you expect him to take over when he's on a bad ankle? So that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's not like he didn't show up, Quickly didn't show up. Quentin Grimes offensively didn't show up. Now, I'm not talking about his defense. He played good defense. Those guys, in certain sense, didn't show up. Randle was there. He was playing. He was giving you something. Now,
so did Brunson.
Right, but
at times RJ didn't show up. At times Hart didn't show up.
There's some truth there. But going back to Cat was playing on so coach says Cat was playing on a recently torn MCL. But let's not forget, Cat came back after, healing. Maybe he didn't heal as properly as, you would say that the MCL injuries take. But MCLs are not, ACLs. They're MCLs. People come back after MCLs. Cat was out 50 games in his own right? Was that this year or last year? I think that was this year. Or was it last year? I don't remember. Either way, he's been out for a long time. I know that. And it takes you a little while to get back to your normal. But that wasn't the case. What Anthony Edwards said to Cat in that press conference was, if you can stay on the court, we can win. He said that because Carl Anthony has a problem with fouling. He was getting into so much foul trouble in games. He was getting himself taken out of games early and then running into situations where he gets limited on what he can do because he was always dealing with foul trouble. That's all I'm talking about. I'm not talking about nothing else. Dude has foul issues, and so he couldn't be an effective member of the team if he keeps getting himself into foul trouble. That's all Anthony Edwards is trying to say. If you stay out here in the court, we can win. So they were having problems with that. My other thing with Cat is he hasn't really, I don't know, maybe it's because Anthony Edwards is there, but if you just look at his numbers the past 2 years, prior to the injury and obviously after the injury, just notice he's taking a dip in his numbers. Maybe because he's letting Anthony Edwards carry a lot. I don't know what's going on. He just doesn't look like he's showing up the way he used to.
That's for sure.
So that's all I got on him.
I haven't watched a lot of T-Wolf games this year, but I do agree that Cat is basically playing more of the wounded wolf, who is now just passing the torch on to the new dog who's wanting to take over the pack.
Right.
In this case, it's the Ant-Man who's finally showing the potential he had when the Timberwolves initially drafted him years ago.
Yeah.
But then you have the issues with Nazir Reed, and you have other vets, Nazir Reed, Mike Conley, Gobert, and so forth.
Right. Shout out to Marlon Khan. What up, Marlon? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, brother. He said, I support Sabrina, not Caitlyn. Okay. Yeah, but even that, another thing, Coach, another thing that I'm not a big fan of when it comes to Karl Anthony Towns, the fact that he doesn't want to play center. You're big to play a center. You got the body of a center. You don't want to play center. You want to be a power forward that stretches the floor. Whereas being a center that stretches the floor is even more viable and more of a thing that teams can benefit from. But he doesn't want to get dirty and bang down low and take the brunt of being physical with other centers. I don't love that. I don't like.
It just screams like he's trying to play the role of a Machiavellian politician with the team.
Well, so
I'm not a fan of players who take the approach of Giovanni Bernardo, not Niccolo Machiavelli.
I see what you're saying. Machiavelli. Coach says
better to be feared than loved. Personally, it's the other way around. You want to be loved, not feared.
Okay. I can dig it. Coach says 50, 40, 90. I mean, yeah, listen, it's hard to. I'm not going to. Cat can shoot. He's a great shooter. He's one of the best shooters. He's one of the best shooters in the NBA, not just from center, from NBA, period. He's a great shooter. So nobody's questioning that. He has the ability, but does the ability translate? You know what? And rather than me keep saying stuff, let me look something up real quick. Let's take a look at this before I move on to the next possible scenario and see what you guys feel about that, because it's not the same. It's very different. Let's see what this says. All right. Okay, what we got going on here? Let's see the stats. So Karl Anthony. All right. So it was last year. I don't remember. I'm not following as closely as others maybe. Yeah. So remember, he was out last year, 50 plus games, because of the injury that he sustained. Right, and he came back, and he finished the season. He averaged 20 points per game. He shot 50% from the field. He shot 36 from three, and he shot 87 from the free throw line. Last year, he played 29 games, right? This year, he played 62 games. So for someone who dealing with MCL, you say, I understand he's recovering still, kind of, but he played 62 games. It's a good amount. He shot 50% from the field, 41% from three, 87% from the free throw line. I mean, that's great. Those are great numbers. And he averaged 21 points per game, 21.8 with 8 rebounds, 3 assists. There's nothing wrong with these numbers. Any team would be lucky enough to have a guy with these type of numbers. Here's my problem that I see with Cat. One, I already told you, I don't like the fact that he doesn't want to play center. We need him to play center. He can play power forward. If we trade Julius for him, yeah, he can play power forward, but we need him to play center. There's going to be opportunities there where it makes sense for him to be at the center, stretching the floor, bringing the opposing team's center out. That works for us, right? That's one thing. 2, he makes a lot of money. He's making big bucks, okay? And he's going to make even bigger bucks because he's due, right? That's 1. I mean, that's 2, sorry. The other thing is, and I know Anthony Edwards is there. I get it. But he goes from 24 points per game to 26 points down to 24.8 to 24.6, and he's comfortable there. You figure this is who he is. But then last year he was at 20.8, and then this year 21.8. Yes, I know Anthony Edwards is there, and Anthony Edwards gets a lot of touches in the ball as well. But there was plenty of games where I was looking at Karl Anthony Towns, and he wasn't given 21 points. He was given 15, 14, 13, 16. So that is the type of stuff that I say that sometimes he doesn't always show up. All right. And I just feel like you need a guy who will do whatever is needed, especially if they're going to play for Tom Thibodeau. So maybe it goes back to Tom Thibodeau, because maybe he's just not the right guy for Tom Thibodeau and the way Tom Thibodeau likes to play guys and what he expects of guys. So I don't know, man. It's a question. It's a question. That contract is a lot of money. Yeah, I mean, offensively, I'm not gonna say that Julius Randle is better than him, coach. I offensively, Karl Anthony he's more talented. He can do things easier. I don't necessarily think he's a better rebounder than Julius. I think they can rebound at the same clip. If Julius may be a little better. But it depends. Once again, Karl Anthony's a little taller. It's easier for him to get the rebounds too, but Julius works. But one thing is, Karl Anthony is not as physical as Julius, not anymore. He started out that way, but not. He's a finesse dude now. Yeah. So I don't know, but that's one scenario. I'm not a big fan of it. So here's another scenario, right? But this one is not necessarily what you would think. There's another scenario where the Knicks would trade Mitchell Robinson to the Memphis Grizzlies for what's his name? Luke Kennard.
I could see that. The problem is Kennard is a power forward, is he not?
I don't know what Luke Kennard is, to be honest. I thought he was a guard or a small forward. But the thing is, in this scenario, it wouldn't even be about keeping Luke Kennard. It would be the Knicks would trade Mitchell Robinson for Luke Kennard and then cut Luke Kennard to get that money back on the books. So then they could use that extra money to help sign Hartenstein and re-sign OG. So it's kind of like you're giving up a player to get more flexibility. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. Yeah, best of the worst says Luke is 6'5" guard who can only shoot. He's a discount Fournier. Tibbs will not play him. Probably not. I mean, he plays better defense than Fournier, but I hear you.
Kennard, I would agree on that.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But if the Knicks are so cash strapped that they don't have enough flexibility and they're wondering how they're able to bring back OG and Hartenstein, they might consider doing something like this. I don't know, man. Only people that know exactly what the Knicks can do is the Knicks. We're just here speculating as usual. Well, Sherwin, what if here's the thing. I hear what you're saying, but what if the going rate for a guy like Hartenstein is 18 million? Because remember, the going rate changes with the salaries and everything around the league. Everything, we already talked about this. Everything is going to go up, right? We knew this was going to happen. There's a reason why everybody was complaining that RJ got what he got. And then you got Jalen Brunson, who's making what he's making. He deserves more. And how are you going to give Josh Hart 18 million per when you got this guy? Like, I get what everybody's saying, but understand money is going up and it's going up. It's gone up. And so The going rate for a center that does what Hartenstein does may be 18 million. I'm not talking about what OKC's offering. I'm talking about the going rate. Maybe 18 million now. When they signed Mitch, it was a little cheaper. Now it may be 18. If that's the going rate, you guys comfortable with giving him 18? Because I personally am. If that's the going rate, I'm okay with it. Sherwin says, I'm not paying a man who can't defend his man more than 15 million. He is just a help defender. He can't stop his man. Yeah. King Ribby says, I heard 5 years, 100 million. I mean, listen, that's some wild money. But I don't know. If the Knicks got it and they can do it, then it is what it is. I think that's a lot of money. That's a lot of bread. That's 25 per. That's a hell of bread. I don't know about that one. Unless you're telling me that they feel like Hartenstein's going to take his game to the next level. We're going to see something new out of him. You know what I mean? I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm like dumbfounded by that number because I know OKC was offering it, but that's OKC. For the Knicks to play that, I don't know. And even if the Knicks did pay that, I don't think they would pay it the way OKC would pay it. Like I could see the Knicks saying, "We'll give you 4 years at this amount, but that 5th year is the club option." You know what I mean? I could see them not locking themselves in for a full 5 years of paying that money because that's how they've done a lot of their contracts. Best of the worst says I would let him go and trade for Capella with Boggs' contract, maybe squeeze AJ Griffin out of them. This move keeps us out of the apron, and Capella has 1 year left. Yeah, I mean for now, but we're hitting that apron, guys. One way or another, we're gonna be in that apron because once you get into the Brunson money, and if they do decide to keep Julius, we are going into the apron. It's no way around it. Georgie says, with our luck, he goes to OKC and he turns into an Embiid. Right? Yeah, I know. Right? Crazy. Yeah, which is what I thought, Coach. We can only give him 4 for 72. Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I don't know what's happening, guys. I don't know. You never know. To me, like I said, I think his message was basically saying that he was ready to get back to work with the Knicks, but it could be he was thanking everybody for his time here. And foe, is that friend over everything or family over everything? I think it's family over everything. This could be a goodbye as well. You never know. Thank you, New York, for making it so special. You never know. Never know. Jeremy Nussbaum says the Knicks salary will reach 180 million next season, over 200 million in 2025. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, but no, but he's not saying foe. He's actually using it as an acronym. Like he's trying to say something other than foe. He's trying to say friend or something over there, family over everything. Exactly. That's what I believe he's trying to say. JJ said it sounded like a farewell. Slim Slammer says it sounds like bye. Yeah, I don't. It could be deuces. So, who knows? We'll see. Yeah, I mean, so I don't know, man. There's like I said, there's a lot of different scenarios out there, a lot of different rumors. Tomorrow's probably going to be another rumor. It is what it is, guys. I wouldn't go too crazy. Just let it happen. Whatever's going to happen, it was out of our control. We're just fans sitting back and watching it. Right. I know. Hey, but you know what? Evan Fournier might be a free agent.
I don't want him back.
Just saying.
I'm just saying, let the Pistons eat the last bit of that contract.
Yeah, I think they will. I think he's up out of there. Thank you guys for rocking out with me. I see there's 93 across all platforms, 74 on YouTube, and we got 19 tuning in on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Please smash that like button over here if you haven't already done so.
I'm surprised you don't do this also on Twitch.
R-Rod, shout out to you. He said, just tuned in. Sorry for being late. Who said foe? Robinson? No. Isaiah Hartenstein. You know what? Let me just pull it up so you guys can see it yourself, but you know what it is. If those who haven't seen it. There it is. There it is. You see that? Right there. Isaiah Hartenstein on IG. Shout out to New York Basketball for putting that up. Says year 6. Thank you, New York, for making it so special. Time to get back to work. Puts the lock there. And then hashtag FOE. So I don't know. Who knows? I think he's coming back, but that also could be a farewell. You just never know. So that's that. Anyway, shout out to AP. Salute to you. Appreciate you. Good to see you. Anna Grill's in the building. Salute. Happy Monday to you as well. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough to look at. You know, everything is subjective. It looks like, thanks for the last season. I appreciate all the love I got. It's time to get back to work. Let's do this again. Or it's thank you for last season. Appreciate the love. I got to get back to work now. I got to do what I got to do for another team. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know. It's crazy, bro. Crazy. So that's what's going on with that. The other thing that I think is interesting too is the whole thing about whether or not this Knicks team is better off without Julius Randle. I don't know what happened to everybody. I don't know why there's such a disdain for Julius Randle coming off of his third All-Star appearance and the way he played before he got injured. I don't know why people think that all of a sudden we're better off without him. Did we have a pretty good season, winning 50 games? Yes. It shows that we have a team of good, to decent talent on this roster who play hard and have a winning mentality and have promoted a winning culture. That doesn't mean we're better off without Julius. I think we started to realize we barely got past Philadelphia, who was dealing with their own injuries, and they don't have a lot of weapons over there. They
in the shortcuts of Joel Embiid,
right? And they brought in what's the shooter that they got from Indiana?
Maxey?
No. But Philadelphia had the shooting guard.
That was Thibault or Maxey.
Come on, man. My memory stinks. What's going on? This is trash bags. What's going on with my memory? Yes. Buddy Hield. And remember, Buddy Hield did nothing in that series except for one game. One game Buddy Hield showed up. He did nothing in that series. And we had, beat them. It took us to game 6 to get them out of here. So I just saying, like, with Julius Randle, I think that would have been a lot easier. And I've already said, if we had if we had OG Anunoby, we would have beat Indiana. But if we had Julius Randle, we would have beat Indiana. I'm confident in that.
But will we
be what it is?
Boston with Randle, but without OG? Short answer, no.
I don't think so. I don't think so. But you never know. Anything can happen. But I think we would at least played hard and given it a good effort. I don't think we would have got swept.
True.
Shout out to Old Head.
And the irony is that, and the irony in Boston sweeping Indiana is that with the exception of Benny Mathurin, the Pacers were practically healthy.
It's true. It's true.
The only excuse they might have is they got gassed out by playing a depleted Knicks squad and going the distance.
Yeah. Shout out to Old Head. He says, I think iHeart may want to take his wife out of New York. I don't know. I kind of feel like she would prefer to be in New York rather than OKC. Like, I think she's a model or something. So you would think that she would like being here. But you're saying that maybe, he's like, let me get her out of here because this lifestyle is a little crazy. Could be. You never know. Listen, we don't know. That's people's personal situations. Nobody knows about that. Jeremy Nussbaum says the Pistons will extend a massive offer sheet to OG Anunoby. Detroit is going to make moves this offseason after firing Troy Weaver. Well, I tell you one thing. If I'm worried about OG going anywhere, it's not to Detroit. He's not leaving the Knicks and going over to Detroit. That ain't the move. I don't see that. I mean, money talks, but he can get money someplace else and enjoy that better. Like, he could go to Philadelphia easily, which I hope he doesn't do. But, if he's going to leave the Knicks, I don't think he's going to Detroit. So I'm not worried about that. Shout out to DJ Cash, 1984. Appreciate you, brother. Good to see you. He said OG and Hartenstein will be back and Julius will not be traded. That's what I think is going to happen. I agree with that. Thanks, Zigzags. Wow, I can't say that. 3 Z's. I don't know why I always have a problem saying that. Zigzags. Thank you. Jesus Christ. Buddy Healed. Correct. That's correct. Thank you. Georgie says, Ron, the problem is that people don't remember that Julius was a part of the winning team on January, and shortly after he and OG went down, so the Knicks can't wait to run it back. I know people, you kind of, that happens. You kind of forget. But it's not only, I think it's not that people forget that he was a part of it. People forget how it looked. You know what I mean? They forget what it looked like when they were playing together on the court and how Julius was playing and being a good teammate. And deferring to Brunson and allowing others to play their game and not like taking the spotlight. That's the type of stuff you forget because you can't see it. You haven't seen it in months. That's what I think is happening. People just forget how it actually looked on the court. So sometimes it's good to go back and look at them old Knick games. Refresh your memory. Go take a look at when Julius Randle had 8 points, but he also had 8 rebounds and I think 6 assists or 7 assists. And the Knicks beat Philadelphia by 30-plus points. Go look at a game like that and see how Julius did whatever needed to be done to help us get that victory. Stuff like that, you know what I mean? Yeah, he didn't shoot the greatest, but he did other things, and we blew them out. Shout out to D Coolest. What's good, my brother? Appreciate you. Hey, what up, Steph? Salute. Please, guys, if y'all haven't been doing so, you got to check out the Queen's Court and Dope Soul Sports Knicks Talk with my lady, Miss Steph, because she is one of the best doing it, man. You got to support Steph for everything she's got going on. And when I say my lady, I mean like, the lady of the Knicks. I don't mean like that. It sounds a little crazy. My wife would kill me. Like, who's your lady? Just joking. Jeremy Nussbaum says the Knicks should trade OG Anunoby. He's not worth a max contract. The best option would be a sign and trade transaction. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. King Ribby says if OG goes to Detroit, they will pay him 4 years. Yeah, they would have to break their bank. He would have to get stock options. He'd be, it would be the Detroit Pistons OG edition jersey. You know what I mean? Crazy. Oh man, I hope you're doing well, Steph. Yeah, like so. That's what I'm saying, guys. To wrap everything up and tie a little bow around it. I think the WNBA stuff is blown out of proportion. I think that that's just basketball. It's not race. It's not gender. It's just basketball. That's all it is. And people should just look at it as such. She's not the first to have to go through this stuff. She won't be the last, whether it be in any sport, NBA or whatever it is, WNBA. We've seen it happen to Jordan. We've seen it in a higher extent happen to Blake Griffin. Now it's
LeBron.
Well, it didn't really happen to LeBron. They might have tried to do it to LeBron, but LeBron is just too big and intimidating. When he came into the league, he was a force. He was too quick. He was too big. He was too strong. He was like a freight train. Nobody could stop him. They couldn't keep up with him, and they couldn't stop him from coming into the lane because he was so powerful. And he had more of an all-around game. He still had to work on his shot, but he had a more all-around game than someone like a Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin really needed more time in order to fine-tune the rest of his skills. And that's why he dunked with such reckless abandon. He's like, that's what I kept saying. When I talk about Obi on the Knicks, I was like, if you can dunk like that, if you can jump like that, you should be yamming it on people, man. Go into the lane strong, put somebody on a poster. Blake Griffin at least did that. He put people on posters. Not so much Obi. Not so much. Yeah, it is what it is. Shout out to Keyshawn. What's good, brother? Appreciate you. Hey, shout out to D-Ras in the building. Salute. What's good? And my guy Noah, the Knicks realist in the building. Yo, what's good, brother? Good to see all of y'all, man. Hey, my guy 713 game of Fliggity. Appreciate you, brother. Good to see all y'all, man. Yeah, we call them peepos because they're so easy to see through. I see what you did there. Yeah, man. So I appreciate you guys. I'm sorry I can't continue to go deeper, but it's already 11 o'clock and I gotta do some other stuff and get ready for bed.
On the clock tomorrow at Lowe's.
Yeah, man, I'm going back to work tomorrow. My vacation is over, so I'm like, oh. I mean, I went back to work today, but I'll have to go back in the office tomorrow. I'm like, damn, it went so quick. But yeah, guys, so like I said, in conclusion, we talked about the Caitlyn situation. It's just basketball, no big deal. Don't go crazy with all this other stuff. Don't listen to all the narratives. Don't let people fool you into thinking this is race related or gender related or there's anything. This is just basketball. She's a superstar type name that is coming into a league that wants to be respected for all of their talents. And so they're going to try to give her the business so that she earns her stripes. And so that the rest of the people who watch the WNBA understand that, she has to, show that she can do what she's got to do in the WNBA before you start crowning her the best. All that stuff. That's just normal stuff, right? And then the other thing is trade scenarios. There's a bunch of rumors out there. There's a rumor about, Julius being traded for Karl Anthony Towns. Don't know if I like that. Not a big fan of him. I just don't think he's the person that will take us to the next level. Is he an incredible player? Yes. But there's certain things about his game that I'm just not sold on. And I'd rather have somebody else who just fits the team better and has that strong worker mentality. You know what I mean? That no holds barred, will do whatever it takes. I don't know if Karl Anthony has that. Will do whatever it takes, especially when he doesn't want to play center. So that's already, I don't know about that. So you got that. And then you also got a possible trade scenario of maybe Mitchell Robinson going to Memphis for someone like Luke Kennard, whereas the Knicks would bring back Luke Kennard and then wind up cutting him and using whatever money they can get from that to help re-sign Hartenstein and OG Anunoby. So those are the type of things we discussed. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but those are just different things that the Knicks will play around with. You never know. You don't know what direction they're going in. There's going to be a bunch of different scenarios that pop up and a bunch of different speculative trades that we're going to hear from now until something happens. So just get used to it, Knicks fans. It's going to be a long summer. Or at least until the draft day. Because I have a feeling that whatever the Knicks do, they're going to do it before or on draft night. So we'll see what happens. Mets, you got any final words, brother?
Just then, whatever the Knicks do tonight, do in the future going into the draft, just do not cough up the picks. Is all I'm wanting. 2 years in a row, we've either coughed up our first round picks for a mediocre draft pick, make a trade before the draft just for a player that may be getting to the point where they could end up being past their prime, or both. I just want to get a player in the draft's first round this year. We got 2 chances, and we cannot afford to fuck this up.
Okay. I hear you. Well, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what they do. I mean, right now they're calling around, seeing if anybody's interested in those picks. So I don't necessarily know if the Knicks are even gonna draft anybody. But we'll see. We'll see, Mets. But don't worry, man. Something's gonna happen. And at the very worst, the Knicks will come back with the same team that they had last year, with maybe 1 or 2 different players to help round out the roster, because they know what they know that what they were lacking as well. I think we'll be okay. Knicks Profit Curry TV, shout out to you. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. Thank you for being here. Said the Knicks aren't trading Mitch to make money available for Hartenstein. That wouldn't be smart. He's a limited player. Go get Khalil Ware and or somebody. I mean, the problem is, even when you say something like this, and I hear you, but why wouldn't they trade Mitch to make room and bring back Hartenstein? Because I don't think Mitch is somebody that they believe in for long term anymore. He just can't stay healthy, right? And just because you put money into bringing back Hartenstein doesn't mean you put all your chips in the Hartenstein basket. You're still going to have to go out and get yourself a backup center somewhere. So you never know what it's going to turn out to be. But the problem is when you say somebody like Khalil Ware, I'm not opposed to him. I think he would be a good fit. But you guys know he won't play for the Knicks the next season. Like, he won't be a big part of our rotation. You're getting him for future. So do you really deal with the issues that you may have right now for this current team? Who knows? Because this guy's not going to play. Most likely, a lot of these rookies, if they draft anybody, they're not going to play. So just think about that. All right. Well, I'm sorry, guys. I gotta go. And shout out to you, Just Knicks. I apologize, brother. I gotta head up out of here, man. I gotta get some stuff done so I can go to bed. I would love to keep going. It's a shame because now, as the show goes on, more y'all start popping in. I appreciate y'all, man. But yeah, it's a little late for old Mindhunter. Unc is getting tired.
You're not the only one who's getting worn out.
I hear you. Hey, thank you for the generous super chat, my brother. 713 Gamer Fliggity bars. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. And thank you, man. Listen, if you guys want to see whatever we did talk about the conversation, please, be a part of the replay gang. Watch the beginning of the show so you can see what we talked about. I think that the stuff was it was a good conversation, especially the stuff we talked about with the WNBA. I know some people don't necessarily care about what's going on with the WNBA, but the conversation itself is relative to the NBA, and it can affect other guys. We don't know who's the next great star, but maybe it's definitely not this year, and it's not next year, but maybe 2 years from now, there'll be somebody else that comes in. Maybe there'll be another LeBron James or a Jordan or some sort that pops up. And when they come into the league, they may get the same type of treatment that Caitlyn Clark gets, because that's the nature of the business. You come in with the Superman on your chest, people are going to test you out. Well, That's all it is. Anyway, I thank you guys for being here. I appreciate all the love. Please smash that like button if you haven't already done so, and show your love for the show. And if people have come in late, if you haven't had a chance to subscribe, if you like the content, consider subscribing. I would definitely appreciate it. Would love to have you and continue to grow the show. The other thing, too, is if y'all haven't already checked out, Still Knicks Fans has merch. That's right. Let's go to www.youtube.com/StillKnickFans and /store. Click on the Still Knicks Fans store, and you'll see not only that merchandise that you clicked on, but you'll see other merchandise because we have more than just that. Check it out. Here's a little video that shows a little bit of the merch. This is not even close to all of it. I mean, there's got to be over 100 different items of merch out there that you can check out. This just gives you a little sampling of that. So take a look. Yep. So there's all types of stuff out there, guys. Everything from teddy bears to aprons to mouse pads to bumper stickers. There's all types of stuff. So check it out if you guys are interested and have some time. Yeah, man. Once again, I thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. As I always say, tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still Knicks Fans. We'll be back again, whether it be on Monday nights at 9 p.m. for SKF Weekly with yours truly, my brother John and my brother Jose on the ones and twos. Obviously, Jose's out on paternity leave, and my brother John is out celebrating his son's birthday tonight, so he couldn't be here. But also, you can check us out in the middle of the week where we're going to get back into some, NBA talk on NothinButKnicks and some hip hop talk on the Front Stoop. So look for that. And let's not forget, Know the Ledge on Saturdays at 11:30. Saturdays, I'll be talking you guys off the ledge as I usually do. This past Saturday was a 4-hour show. We had a really good time, a lot of conversation. Mets dropped by. We had a good little run that day. So shout out to all y'all. Shout out to Alex Isaac in the building. Appreciate you. Shout out to Miguel P. Appreciate you. Wiz BKLA. What up, Wiz? My guy 713 Gamer. Yes, sir. I appreciate you. Shout out to Stream Elements. Thank you for letting me know that Knicks Prophet Curry TV subscribe. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you. I appreciate you, Steph. Thank you so much. And my guy Danny Landis in the building. Salute. No, I do not want Fournier or Frank Ntilikina back. Keep those guys away. I'm out. Now I know the show's over. Later, y'all. Take it easy. Have a great one. We'll catch you on the next one.
Night, folks.
Latest.
Say go, New York, go, New York, go. Say go, New York, go, New York, go. Say go, New York, go, new team, it's the same dream. New Knicks City Unis, boy, they stay clean. I just caught mine off the Fanatics in the garden with my hands in the air, we back at it. Freedom over fame.
freedom over cycle stays the same.